Now, as the postseason rapidly approaches, there is ongoing dialogue from Cowboys fans about how things this year look different than last year. Is this a better team than last year? Are we in a better position to do more things in the postseason this year? All those things are starting to come into question, and today we're going to have a discussion on how I think the 2022 Dallas Cowboys are actually better and are better positioned than the 2021 Dallas Cowboys. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, look, I understand that people will be like, well, Space Cowboy, of course this team's better. We have a chance to go 13-4 as opposed to 12-5 last year, and this, that, and a third. I'm not talking just about record, guys. I'm talking about how the Cowboys have won games, where they're at in terms of playing as a team going into the postseason. All those things factor into how I'm viewing this Cowboys squad, and this team is at least offensively not as challenged as it was last season going into the postseason, right? Because remember what happened last year? You know, we had the Patriots game, and then Dak got the calf injury. We come back from the bye week, and then this offense just looks like up and down, like what is going on here, right? And, you know, you could attribute that to play calling, player execution, you name it, but at the bottom line, they were not doing as good as they were at this point in time this year. Right? They are at least able to put up points. Realistically, the biggest problem this Cowboys team has now as opposed to last year's is turning the ball away on offense. But they aren't shooting themselves in the foot so many times to where they're losing games. And I think that's something that we need to kind of put into the conversation. Because they're scoring at least 27 points a game. They aren't struggling to move the ball down the field. There are moments where, of course, you're like, okay, what the hell are we doing? But there's never a moment where I'm like, all right, guys, you know, this offense is struggling and we can't do anything. They're going into the postseason with an offense that's scoring 27 points a game. That's important. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do that in the postseason because that's not a guarantee. But it's a lot better than last year where you're like, okay, it feels like you're just struggling to score. You know, what's going on there? And I think you adding T.Y. Hilton, and as he's starting to come along, and he's converting these third downs for you, right? That's important, man. That's really important because I think getting that shot in the arm of that extra energy that I think the Cowboys were missing last season, right? I feel like when you had lost a Michael Gallup, you couldn't really do a whole lot more there. Now you added a T.Y. Hilton. Oh, and by the way, you added a Jonathan Hankins. You're getting back LVE, right? These guys are going to be healthy. Yes, you lost Terrence Steele. And you've lost Tyler Biadasz, who, by the way, is going to most likely be back for the first or second playoff game, assuming you win. You're at least getting guys back, and you're going to have a roster that's able to actually do something, right? Because with last year, that defense was really carrying the load, it felt like, and it definitely was. But then you had that loss to Arizona last season. And that loss kind of was like, all right, what the hell? Because the difference is that Dallas is fighting for something going into Week 18. You could argue they were doing that last season, which, yeah, they were trying to get that number 1 seed. But you know what? The thing that I admire about this Cowboys team than last year's is that, you know, you're not going to be in a situation where you're getting screwed over. Well, you could argue they were because of the 2 overtime losses. But they're winning games, right? And there are other teams in the NFL that are struggling. We've seen that. But the Dallas Cowboys are not wavering. They're not. Like, they could have easily been like, you know what? We got a playoff spot. Let's just not care. They're actually going out and trying to win games. And like I said, whether the turnovers offensively or the quarterback's fault or not, that doesn't matter. Like, the defense is not allowing these opponents to score. And that same defense is getting those opponents to turn the ball over on them. And that's important. The Dallas Cowboys currently lead the league in turnover differential, and I believe they still lead the league in turnovers. So that's important because there hasn't been a team since the Steelers in the 70s to lead the league in turnovers back-to-back years, which is impressive to say the least. So if I'm being real with you guys, you know, you have a defense that, sure, while they are not at that same level they were at the start of the season, you know what they're doing? They're turning the ball over. They're giving your offense more chances. They're making critical stops when necessary. And more importantly, they're not allowing the other team to score touchdowns. especially when they're in situations where it's like, okay, you know what, you let one touchdown go, but they don't score again. Like, that is something that's key here. You know, when we look at this Titans game that just took place and the Cowboys winning 27-13, you had really the one touchdown drive, and that was pretty much it. The Cowboys took care of business, the offense did their thing, and your defense just held its own. And, you know, Micah, it looks like he's banged up. You know, you're getting better you're getting Hankins back in for your interior line, which is important. You're getting LVE back, which is important. Like, these are guys that are going to help with the things that you've been struggling with, which is, number one, that the run defense, which, by the way, the run defense has done its job so far, albeit, you know, the Titans game is a bit of an aberration because you didn't have Derrick Henry playing. But look, I'm not going to sit here and just lie to you guys and be like, you know what, guys, you know, this is the... I'm not saying that, right? So let's talk about the actual, like, implications of you going into the postseason. Last season, it was kind of a dead set, like, okay, you're going to most likely face Arizona or something like that, and then it kind of switched up on you, but you ended up playing a very hot team that didn't match up well with you, or they matched up well with you. More specifically, you didn't match up well with them, because with the 49ers, they had the offense that could beat that Cowboys team. And by the way, the Dallas Cowboys from last year weren't really challenged as they were this year. You had moments where the Cowboys could have lost games, and they should have, but they won games. You had moments where the Dallas Cowboys had moments of brilliance when it was a tough game. You know, that's something that matters. And the key thing is, and this is what I talked about in the playoff scenarios video, if you didn't see that, is that we talk about how, okay, the Cowboys have these boogeymen that keep, you know, coming back at them, like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, for example, right? I'm going to just be real with you guys. The playoffs are not supposed to be easy, and trust me, I would love to get a certain seed here and there, but I'm telling you guys, we can't be doing this. Because you know what would have happened last year? If we had won as the 3rd seed, right, and then we had to go on the road to face, you know, a team in the Buccaneers. We haven't beaten Tom Brady ever, so we would have been like, oh, are we going to be scared that we had to face Tom Brady? No, no one was saying that. Everyone's like, we want to go play Tom Brady again because the last time we faced him, we should have beaten them. Are we going to say that now? Oh, guys, well, we can, no. No. I want whoever is in front of me. I don't care if it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, or Jared Goff, whoever the hell's playing quarterback. I don't care anymore. Show me you could take care of business. That's it, right? Because last year, that wasn't the sentiment by many Cowboys fans. It was like, oh, well, you know what? Well, Tom Brady does have our number. I feel like if we can rematch, we can beat the crap out of him. And they lost in the second round. Not saying the Cowboys would have done the same thing, but that's what would have happened. You would have had to go play Tom Brady. Or, hell, even if, hypothetically, you had to go face Aaron Rodgers in the second round, right? Are we going to sit here and cry about, like, oh, we had to face so-and-so? Because that's what's going to happen, guys. Listen. Luckily for the Cowboys this go around, I think they match up a lot better than compared to last go around with some of these teams. Because look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, can they beat you? Yeah, they can. But you know how they beat you? They don't allow your offense to score points. If you put up 27 points or more, you win. That's just how it is. Like, you put up 27 points on them, you win. They have not been able to put up 30 points often. They only did it against Carolina because Carolina shot themselves in the foot so goddamn much. And then the only other time they did it was versus the Chiefs. That's only 2 times this season. Otherwise, if you score enough points on them and you hold them down offensively, you win. I know that sounds so basic, but that's how it is. And then when you look at the Packers, you should have won against them, and you didn't because your run defense kept getting gashed, and you had guys that weren't doing their job. I feel like in a rematch, you should be able to take care of business. And yes, they are the team that's coming into the postseason hot, which, by the way, they haven't clinched their spot. It's just a foregone conclusion they will because they're playing Detroit. But who knows? If you get that number 2 seed, which that involves Philadelphia losing, you could end up playing Detroit. You could end up playing Seattle. You don't know who the hell you're going to play. You just don't. Right? You don't know who you're going to play. But you always prepare for the unexpected. So for me, listen, if you get that number 2 spot, which Dallas didn't have last season, you know what happens? You get the chance to have, at minimum, 2 home playoff games. Which, by the way, Dallas is 7-1 at home, right? You know, and you look at last season, Again, I feel a lot more comfortable this go around because this Cowboys team has shown me that if they get punched in the mouth, they find ways to win games. They're not floundering around trying to win a game. That's just how it is, guys, and I would rather have that than last year's squad. Now, is that me coping? Maybe, I don't know. But look, I don't know what you guys have to say. You could tell me down in the comment section below, but I am telling you right now that this road to the playoffs and this road to a possible run to the NFC Championship game is a little bit more open than last year. Why? Because guess what? You have to face these guys in the first round, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or whoever. If you get that 2 seed, we'll see what happens. Let's just say you're playing Tom Brady, right? Are these the same Bucks as last year? No. And they're not going to be easy. None of these teams are going to be easy. But if you beat Tom Brady and you go on the road, your odds are you're going to end up playing either Philadelphia or you're going to be playing San Francisco, right? Oh, well, we don't match up. That's just how it is, guys. If we win, we win. We lose. But that's just how it is. And guess what? Can I just remind you guys of something? No one thought we were going to be here. No one thought that the Dallas Cowboys of 2022 would be in the postseason vying for the NFC East title at the very end of the season, given how Philadelphia was playing, given how the entire rest of the NFC was playing, and they have a shot at the number 1 seed too. So if the Cowboys get the number 1 seed, which they're not, but I would be absolutely floored if they got it. Because then you forego that first round, and you just wait. And you get more guys rested up, and I think it would be very much needed, even though we don't really do well. But hey, I think that if you're someone that believes that you want the Cowboys to play their best and you hope you get the 2 seed, guess what? Best of both worlds. You get guys playing, so there's no rust on them. And more importantly, you get 2 home playoff games at minimum if you get past the first round. So I think that pretty much does it there, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video and this discussion we had. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys? Have a good one. Goodbye.